So time is a ultimate equalizer, an ultimate equalizer. So no matter who you are or what your status is, you've got the same 24 hours in a day that everybody else has. The question is, do you ask yourself, how do some people manage to excel in their careers and maintain healthy relationships and find time to nurture themselves, yet others struggle deeply. They struggle deeply just to keep their heads above water. You know, the old antic and the old question of if you want something done, ask someone who's busy. Most of us have been taught that the answer is hustle. The answer is hustle. When we're trying to figure out how to do more or to get ahead, we're told that the answer is hustle. Quite honestly, I don't like that word. It is a word that describes friction and lack and just almost a frantic pace, just having to get to where you need to be. We're told to join these early morning clubs, and you got to figure out all these different routines. But what if I told you the version of productivity is actually a form of self-sabotage? When you're in these mindsets of hustling and having to do all these different routines and preps and all these sorts of things, you are basically saying to yourself that I am currently now not the version of myself that I want to be. So what we're going to do today is we're going to rethink time management. That's our focus today. Rethink time management. You're not going to walk away empty-handed, because we do have a ebook, a guide that goes with this that talks about mastering time management, and that's going to be very key for you today. We aren't looking at more grinding or more hustling. We're looking at key ways to unlocking an unstoppable engine for growth that's going to help you to shift into a new level of awareness. Because all of this, I find personally, has to do with your awareness and who you believe yourself to be. If you think you are a person that is behind or needs to hustle, or you're always catching up, or you've got to do 2 and 3 things to catch up with one person's one thing, you already sort of short selling yourself. So we're going to talk today about time management and how we can be better managers of our time, be more productive of the time that we do have. So guys, welcome into the podcast. My name is Kelly. I am your host. It is always my pleasure to welcome you into ReThink Podcast. We've got one mission here, and it's very simple, very, very simple. We want to take old ideas and think of them in new, more productive ways. And the hope and the goal, and we trust that you will have better results, because we know that creation happens in one way. You think thoughts, you say words, you do actions, and then you create some sort of environment that becomes your life. And if you are in a place right now in your life that you are not satisfied, you're not happy, and you are not in a place of joy, then you can redo all that. How do you do it? Think different thoughts, say different words, do different actions, and you'll get different results. And that's what we do here. It's very simple. It's very simple. So we're going to challenge the way that you think. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but it's fine, because you haven't thought this way before. What's the problem? The reactive scarcity trap. We're talking time management today. I want you to think about how you started your day today, for example. How did you start your day today? Did you wake up to an alarm? Did you wait till the last second to get out of bed? Did your feet hit the floor running? Are you already behind as soon as you gain consciousness? Did your mind immediately flood with a checklist? Did you pick up where you left off, yesterday or last night? I'm still in this argument with my husband, my wife. My boss is still waiting for this email. How did you start your day? It's so important starting your day. We're going to do a whole series of podcasts just on the morning. And I'm very hesitant to say morning routine, because I'm getting away from even using the word routine. But how important it is to set yourself up for success for your days. It begins in the morning, and you're going to carry that energy throughout the day. I think if you look back on your life, you will see that normally Now, listen. Some days start off kind of rocky and they get better. Don't get me wrong. Some days start off great and then they turn out not as great. But that's because we're living as for the most part in a responsive reactionary state. But if you intentionally and purposefully start off your day, with the level of consciousness, then usually your day goes the way that you project it to go. So when you wake up and do things like immediately check your phone, you are effectively giving your power away. You're at the beginning of giving your power away. Checking our phones, particularly for social media, is what I'll just call um, a fake or just a fake dopamine hit. You're trying to feel good early in the morning, but you want to get that sort of thing naturally. That sort of dopamine and good feeling emotion should come from exercise or meditation. Those are things that you can cultivate, but you can cultivate them naturally and not through social media. You're starting your day in a state of reaction. You're leaving off from where you went to bed last night. Maybe you and your spouse went to bed last night, not in the greatest of moods, and you guys are not friends this morning. You start off the morning the same way you ended last night. Or you went to bed last night worrying about something. You woke up this morning and picked it right up. And before you could even pick up your toothbrush or use the restroom, you're already back in that frame of mind. We want to be able to direct our consciousness. We want to be able to direct our consciousness purposefully. Okay? You don't want to just be reacting to the demands of the world. Now, granted, we have to do things like take kids to school and, fix breakfast, most of us, and we're off to work, or we have to take the dogs out. There are things that we have to do, no doubt. But as it relates to who you are and how you project your energy in the morning, you can change that. You can relax that. You can be the best version of yourself in the morning. So you might try to multitask to catch up. Have you ever done that? If you feel like you're behind and your day start off in a scattered way, then maybe you find yourself multitasking just to try to catch up through the day. And all it does is just makes you feel more drained. I'm not a fan of multitasking. I think you get a little bit done everywhere, but you don't get a whole lot done anywhere. You never usually complete any of those tasks in full, and you feel drained. This happens because of a subconscious struggle. You are trapped in a cycle of try and fail because you believe that your worth is tied solely to your output. And I've been there. I have totally been there. You believe that your worth, if you're in the West, you live in the West in this capitalistic society and everything's based on competition and a number, then you believe that your worth is tied to a particular output. And if you aren't producing, you're not moving, you're not doing something that look like you're busy, then you feel like you are failing. But this is a frantic pace. The very thing that is keeping you stuck is this frantic pace, because we're so busy being busy, we don't realize we're not accomplishing anything. Well, I think we do to some degree, but we don't want to admit it. And more than that, we don't realize that we are not necessarily working on the things that are going to bring us joy and happiness in the future. But today, I'm going to break down the causes and then give you some solutions as to what we can do to mitigate this. So, why is it hard? Why is it so hard to just slow down? Think about it. Particularly if you're a younger person, millennial, and you're in this new age and you're just getting into the workforce, why is it so hard to slow down? And it really doesn't have to be. It could be any of us. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Why is it so hard for us to slow down? It's because our subconscious mind has a certain blueprint. And as we discussed before, that blueprint takes precedence. It is the priority. You can think consciously whatever you want to think. Hey, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to go out and do that. But if it doesn't fit within your inner workings, that software that's been and that program's been running in the background, then it doesn't really matter. Your subconscious has a blueprint of who you believe yourself to be. That is your self-concept. If your inner identity is someone who is always behind, for example, your mind will find ways to keep you in that state of rush. If you believe that's who you are, And boy, do I know a lot of people who it sounds like an alarm to me at this stage in my life, because I've done quite a bit of work on myself, so I can hear the signals. When I hear people say, "Well, I'm running late today," but that's me, or I left late. I know I got to the airport late. It's like they're admitting these things, but they don't maybe realize what they're saying about themselves, and that pronunciation, that pronouncement of you is an indicator of who you believe yourself to be. You believe that you are a person that's tardy. And a person that's tardy is like not a serious person. Like, if you intend to be somewhere, be there. The truth is, you can't outwork a frantic self-concept. If you are running on old programming and you're late all the time, you just never can get anywhere on time, and you just lose stuff, and you can't figure out where anything is. This is a part of your program. This is part of who you believe yourself to be. If your inner operating system is running on let's call it a virus of lack and scarcity, then no amount of productivity hacks are going to help you create any peace. You're trying to install new software, your dreams and goals, on an old identity that wasn't designed to hold them. You're not failing because you lack willpower. You are failing because you're experiencing friction, because your actions aren't aligned with your subconscious identity. We got to change that subconscious identity first. Mastering your time. Here's solutions. Mastering your time isn't about doing more. That's the piece that I had to really come to grips with. Mastering my work, my identity, being more productive. It wasn't about doing more. It was about being productive is what I was doing to begin with, and things that were putting me closer to my goals. It's about doing the right things at the right time in the right state of being. It's alignment. That's what that is. So to shift from time management to energy alignment, we use these practices. And number one, before you do, be before you do. Be before you do. And if you listen to the last 3 to 4 podcasts, you almost want to say, man, this sounds like, maybe he's like a broken record. He's kind of stuck on this thing. But that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm not at a point of trust and hope and faith and belief anymore. It's a knowing. It's a being. And I really do feel that that's where, at least I am in my life. It's just a knowing. So before you can do, you must be. And we have it in the reverse. We think that we are going to establish actions of a person that is, losing weight, or a person that's in a relationship, or whatever your goal is. You start to do those actions to convince yourself that you're that person. Well, what I'm telling you is what Neville Goddard told us years ago. Be that person now. Be that person now. Be the person first. Go all the way to the end. Who do you want to be today? Before you ever touch your to-do list, ask yourself that question. Who do I want to be today? Are you the calm creator? Are you the confident leader? Step into that feeling first. Because, if you take anything away from this particular talk today, take this. You are a creator. How do we know that? You are made in the image and the likeness of the creator. If I told you were made in the image of a likeness of a car, what would you say you were? You would say you were a car. You are a creator. You are. How does creation happen? You visualize the thing that you want. We visualize the places that we want to be and the things that we want to do, and those things come into fruition if we can hold them in our consciousness, and if we can manifest the feelings of that reality. If we can hold those pictures in our consciousness, and if we can manifest and hold those feelings in our consciousness, then it has no other choice but to come. That is how creation happens. So, what are you today? Who are you today? Are you a calm creator? Are you a confident person? A leader? Step into that first. When you step out of the bed, and God knows I've had to convince myself many days to step out of the bed, number one. But number two, when you step out of the bed, step out of it with confidence, knowing that everything that you touch today is going to turn to gold. You got the Midas touch. Every answer is yes. People want to help me. People are kind. This world is for me. The universe is for me. I am a calm creator. And I'm going to create a lot of good stuff today. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. That's number one. Be before you do. So step number two is habit stacking. We've talked about this a little bit before. It is small, but very, very powerful. Consistency is the key. You can't just rely on sheer willpower because some days you're not going to feel it. It's a finite resource. Instead, here's a new healthy habit. After I pour my morning coffee, for example, you can do what's called habit stack and say, I will journal for 5 minutes. You drink coffee every day. So while you're drinking your coffee, just write in your journal. So you habit stack. You stack one of your new lifestyle upgrades into a current habit. So let's say if you are doing your morning constitution, maybe you listen to some sort of encouraging message on YouTube. While you're taking your shower or brushing your teeth, maybe you listen to an encouraging message. Find something that you're currently doing and stack a positive habit to it. And that way you can add what's called habit stacking. This builds consistency without the burnout of trying to do something different, trying to force you into a new routine, these sorts of things. So that's step number two. Step number three is the one thing rule. Large goals can sometimes feel overwhelming. The adage of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The key is to divide your large, overwhelming task into smaller, actionable steps. So each day, you identify that one thing that is the most important of all your tasks that you want to do. And if you complete this, this is going to get you much closer to your goal than any of the other tasks. Everything else is easier or unnecessary. I want you to dedicate peak energy time to that task. And peak energy, just so you know, is between 9 and noon. People start to kind of bail out after noon. So do this thing first. Dedicate your peak energy hours to this task when you're free from distractions. Even if you do it early before 9, it's fine too. So Pareto principle suggests that 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. I'll say it again. The Pareto principle says that 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. So do that thing, that one thing that's going to get you closer to your goal. All right. So let's just take a deep breath. Let's remember how we started today. Remember that transformation is a quiet realization. Remember that transformation is a quiet realization. It's not some loud boom or explosion and things falling out the sky. That's what I'm telling you. It's a subtle change in how you perceive yourself. This is that reconstructive self-concept. Change is natural when resistance is removed. Allow yourself to be and be okay with who you are. You don't need to break yourself to grow. When you stop rushing and you actually move faster, you will move faster when you stop rushing because the things will be clearer to you. You'll be able to actually accomplish things. You'll feel more accomplished and more productive throughout your day. I'm speaking from experience. You're no longer fighting your own subconscious resistance because you've installed new programming. Allow yourself the grace to be still before you act. You don't have to be in constant motion. You aren't behind. You are not behind. You're exactly where you want to be, exactly where you need to be, I should say, to start this particular shift toward alignment. Trust yourself. It's very key. Trust yourself. Steady, repeated efforts can lead to long-lasting success. Now, like I said, we do have a ebook on our website. It's entitled Mastering Time Management. Just go into our show notes and you'll be able to link out to our website where you can take a look at it. It's a guide that's helped you to design your structure your goals, I should say, without any burnout. It's going to help you prioritize the one thing energy prioritization method and the why ladder. I really want you to take a look at the why ladder. This is a technique that's going to help you find your core motivation. In other words, why are you doing what you're doing? If you want to stay motivated, you've got to keep your why going. You've got to keep your why going. You know, you may say, I am building this entrepreneurship. I'm building this business because I want to pass it down to my family. I want to pass it down to my kids. That's my why. I want to build a long lasting legacy for my kids and their kids. Okay. So when the days get difficult and the days feel a little overwhelming, you just reach back to your why and you just grab a little bit more motivation. You keep going. Listen, guys, I really want to thank you for hanging out with me today. Listen to the podcast over again. I always tell you that because I do it myself and I hear more the second time around. And like I said, go to our website. I'll have it in the comments or the description here. It doesn't matter where you're listening to us on what podcast and platform. If you're on YouTube or if you're on iHeartRadio. If you're seeing this on social media, I'll make sure we have it in the description there as well. But just go check us out and then get that ebook, The Mastering Time Management. So come back and check us out again tomorrow. We'll have more great information for you then. And thank you guys and have a good one.